Hey guys, it's the Witnesses Podcast, a podcast where we talk about everything Cleveland sports, Ohio sports, and then at the end we take a little deep dive of what's going on around in the sports world. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. TWP listeners, the Browns went at home. Okay, the AFC race just got a little tighter. Tom, crazy how much changes in a week. The elite Joe Flacco talks are coming back, which is confirmed he's elite. And there is a little scenario we can be number one in the AFC. Trevor ended up playing. How do you feel, Tom? How do you feel right now at this moment?
I mean, yeah, you said it. It's crazy how much can change in a week. I was pretty ready to give up on the season. Not actually, but I was pretty sad after a road trip with 2 losses. But we just beat an AFC contender, a divisional leader right now, and we beat them with their starting quarterback that a lot of people didn't think was going to play. And man, did Joe Flacco look elite in this game? 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, he looked good, and he looked in control and comfortable. And I think Kevin was having some fun calling plays for him. It's feeling good again. It's feeling really good. It's crazy how it swung back to, I think we're a Super Bowl contender, and I genuinely think that.
It's that week-to-week nature that you talked about when we talked about the Cavs last week. Every week, it's going to either give you hope or you're going to want to, end it all. So this week, there's hope. There are some things we wanted to, discuss later. But, Tom, what if I told you that in games with 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, Joe Flacco has 2 of those already with us, and the Steelers have 0 since Big Ben retired?
I wouldn't be surprised because they're a terrible organization and they have no business being in the NFL at this point. Even Ben Roethlisberger tweeted, "I guess this is the end of the Pittsburgh Steelers era," or something like that, where it was like, "Man, you've been retired for a few years. Like, why are you talking trash on your team? They're not any good." Like, I don't know. We're learning a lot about how like spoiled brats are in the NFL this week.
Oh yeah, and an interesting week for the NFL where there was 12 teams with their second quarterback starting.
Yeah, and speaking of injuries, the Browns added a few more people to their season-ending injury list, and they have a few more people who are on IR. They have a few people who are potentially on IR, not officially on IR yet, but I mean, just look at this list. It includes our starting quarterback, our star running back, our top 3 offensive tackles, and that's not even mentioning that Myles Garrett has been playing hurt and Denzel Ward has missed time. Kareem Hunt got picked up off the couch so that we had a running back other than a second-year running back. So we have gone through hell this season, and it's a historic season for injuries across the league, but I mean, we're feeling it as much as anybody else is. I mean, look at all of these key players. But I think you have to find the silver lining in a story like this. I mean, how are we still winning games? How are we still competing against the best teams in the league? Especially at home, our record's incredible. It's 6-1 right now. Kevin's a great coach, and he has absolutely personified next man up mentality this year, and he has gotten his money's worth with anybody who snaps their chin strap for the Browns this year.
He's really got the guys to buy in. Like, you can, in my opinion, I think it's funny. Like, Ogbo goes on IR, and all the Browns fans are like, "Oh, this season's over." It's like, we never thought about that when our star Hall of Famer running back went down, our $230 million, great guy outside of football went down. Never thought about it. But Ogbo is the one who breaks the camel's back. Juan Thornhill tweeted, and this is after we win against the Jaguars. He goes, "Despite all our injuries this season, Coach Stefanski still finds a way to put us in a position to win each week. Period. Love that guy." This emoji. And I think, to your point, that says it all. The locker room, truly, 53 guys go on IR tomorrow. I don't think they care at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Ogbo point is like, it's just the next injury, it's just the next one that happens. So I think everybody will be devastated until we beat the Bears this week, and then we'll be like, oh, actually, I guess we can do it without them. I wanted to quick touch on Mo Hurst, who's out for the year with a torn pec. This opens up an opportunity for rookie Siaki Ika to
Oh,
get some serious playing time. And like, he's been basically, in sweats all season. What a great time for him to step in. And I mean, he's definitely going to get the most single person blocking against him. He's not going to get double teamed at all this week if he gets to play. So, I mean, I'm excited about the next man up. Like I stay excited about this team. I stay excited about the way Kevin Stefanski calls games. And despite all of these injuries, like there's something about this team this year. Like they are bought in. You're right. There's if they believe like it absolutely extends to the furthest corner of the stadium. Everybody in there believes that we can beat anybody, especially in Cleveland this year.
absolutely. 5 teams have over 12 IR people listed. Houston has 17, Carolina has 15, the Browns have 13, tied with the Giants, and New England has 12. Out of those 5 teams, realistically, we have an 80+% chance of making the playoffs. Everyone else is way less than that. You could argue everyone but Houston is out of the run entirely, looking for a lottery pick or whatever they call it. That is the epitome of resilience. And
Mhm.
we are going to need all of that resilience against the Bears. So Joe Flacco, 10-2 as a starter in Cleveland. Obviously, he got some of those with the Ratbirds. So Tom, is he going 11-2? Are we gonna beat the Bears? And what do you think is gonna go on here?
Well, this is an interesting Bears team who's been playing well of late. Um, there's two things I want to talk about. Justin Fields' first time playing in Cleveland, he got sacked 9 times and we beat the hell out of him. Um, and that wasn't necessarily his fault. Same reason I also don't think that this season being a failure for the Bears is necessarily his fault. He's been injured. They've had bad play calling. They have holes in bad spots. Um, but they at the same time they're playing hot. They just beat the Detroit Lions, and they also almost beat the Lions the first time they played them. It was a close game at the end. So Justin Fields definitely wants some redemption. The only thing I'll say about it though is who are the 2 biggest weapons that the Browns come across in the AFC North? It's the Bengals wide receivers and it's Lamar Jackson's running ability. And I don't think that Justin Fields is as good of a runner as Lamar. And I think the Bears wide receivers are good, but they're not as good as the Bengals wide receivers. So our defense is built to play this kind of team. Yeah, I think Joe Flacco, savvy Joe, we're going to have a statue built of him. I think he takes out this Bears team. I think it is going to be a good game, but we're not playing with DTR or PJ Walker where we're hoping to win 13-10. We're a team that can beat teams in shootouts now.
We averaged
Yeah,
17 points like the last 3 games, and that was my biggest concern. And then we get like 30 plus with Joe Flacco, and we're like, just sling it, man. It's like Joe Flacco versus Justin Fields, week 15. What a crazy scenario that we got going on. I mean, dude, Joe Flacco, he's like that kind of stepdad, that steps up. And you're like 8 years old. All you've seen is like really, your mom's been treated poorly. And he's like, hey, you're technically not my kid, but you're my kid. And I love you. And he's treating your mom with respect. It's like Joe Flacco's talking at the end of a post-game conference when he gets a game ball, and he's telling these guys like, man, I love you, blah, blah, blah. And you see all these guys are just looking at him like, yeah, I could use a dad. He's really stepping up. I think he's going to outperform Justin Fields here. And I think it doesn't matter who's on our defense. As long as Denzel Ward, like you said, plays, I think we got a good chance.
I mean, Emerson and Newsom had their best games probably of the season last week, both of them. So we might not need Denzel, but if we can get Denzel back, I think we absolutely take this team out. They're bright spots right now for Chicago. Obviously, DJ Moore's great, and then their defensive backfield has been playing great. They're one of the best in the league. Jalen Johnson's got 2 picks in the last 2 games. So I could see us throwing one, but like I said, we're not a team that's trying to win by 1 or 2 points anymore. We're a team that can win a shootout with Joe. So I think we might throw a pick. He might. Joe Flacco got absolutely laid out, and he did also have a fumble. So that might happen as well. Montez Sweat is legit. But yeah, I think Kevin's going to outcoach whoever their coach is at this point. I don't even remember who their coach is. There's a bit of a carousel over there in Chicago.
It's not the coach that got the FBI raided, because they fired that guy earlier in the season. No one is allowed to follow up on that.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm not as worried about this team. Even though they are playing hot, they're playing well. We're playing at home. We have everything to lose. And we want to win. We want to continue to build. And man, it would be nice if some people got healthy this week as opposed to got season-ending injuries.